Oh boy. I didn't really think this through. Yeah.
今年あるところに4人のお供と1人のアバタローがいた。アバタロー戦隊ドンブラザーズって何こいつら。アバタローって何？アバターチェンジだ。これを使え。アバターチェンジ。いや、銃？あなた誰？春風や亡きあの人とすれ違う。え？また戦い？勘弁してよ。好きで犬やってんじゃねえんだよ。猿、キジ、犬と来て。お前は鬼だ。はぁ？鬼？俺を信じろ。俺との縁は超良縁だ。悩みなやつは吹っ飛ばせ。全力全開。なんだそれ。探せ、太郎を。桃井太郎様、あなたに忠誠を誓います。あ、わかんねえ。アバタロー戦隊ドンブラザーズ。
Hello and welcome back to another figure review. Today we're taking a look at the DX Onitaijin from Avatarou Sentai Donbrothers. Alright, that's about as far out as I can go without completely getting rid of the backdrop, so anyway, while I have them all like this, yeah, they're pretty big. So, let's start off the review by going over all of the Donbrothers individually. So, let's start off, of course, with the leader, Don Momotaro, or Robotaro, rather, in this form. Head is on a forward back hinge, as well as a swivel, which I think can get a full rotation, but I'm not going to risk it. This doesn't really lock down as well as it probably should. Not that it really matters, because you're not doing anything with them anyway. Shoulders completely static. Arms only move to transform. Hands are solid. Waist swivel, though that's for the combined mode. Same thing with the joints in the legs. One click front, one to the back. Slight rotation. A really good knee bend, surprisingly. And I mean, the toes can hinge, but that's also for transformation. I only really have one complaint with Robotaro here, and it's the tiny little feet that make it very easy to fall over. Next up, Saru Brother. Not a ton of articulation either, to be honest. This arm can move up and down, but because of how the head attaches, this one's locked. Elbows are facing down, so I mean, obviously it does have all the articulation that the arms have. These can hinge. All ratchets on this, which is actually rather nice. Kind of a brick, but it does look good enough. Let's continue on with the upper body by taking a look at Kiji. I'm pretty sure all the solid pin... Oh boy. Doesn't come with a stand, I just wanted him up. I'm like 90% sure all this solid pink is all paint. But it does have a nice translucent pink, which reveals a bunch of internal details on the wings and the torso, which is actually really nice. Wings can flap. Again, this... Would you call that a ratchet? It's more like it locks here and here. Head can hinge down a little bit, I guess, if you wanted it to. But yeah, pretty much completely static. Next up, let's take a look at Inu Brother. One that probably has some of the best articulation, honestly. All four of the legs are articulated, though they do have a weird habit of not wanting to stay in. Also, these joints are translucent pink plastic, and that kind of worries me. Tail can actually wag, though, because of what it is. no rotation in the head, which I feel is a missed opportunity. They could have at least had this swivel side to side. And finally, the true protagonist of Donbrothers, Oni Sister, who's pretty much a brick. Arms can wiggle a bit, I guess. Head can rotate about that much. And aside from that, nothing. Also, yeah. Probably gonna have this fold down a little bit, but it is kind of endearing to have it just jut out like that off the back. Anyway, come my companions. And so we have Oni Onitaijin, the greatest in the galaxy. And what a chunky mech this is. Also, yeah, you do get the Onitaijin gear, which is translucent yellow with a chrome gold around the outside edge, and a nice holographic sticker. Very pretty. Nice to get something roleplay. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to get the Dawn Blaster, but still, nice to have this. Anyway, let's talk about Onitaijin, because this thing is ludicrously enormous. They say it's 36 centimeters, and that is without those blades making war flags on the shoulders, because this thing is like 2 feet tall with those on it. My usual measuring doesn't even come up to the knee. I do actually have a ruler. And yeah. This is enormous. Ridiculously enormous. It barely fits on my shelf. The Momotaro arms on the back scrape the shelf above it. Now, as for articulation, head is... Oh boy, let's bring that down here. Head is the same. Shoulders can go out 2 clicks. They do actually get a pretty much full... Well, it's good enough to a full rotation if you don't mind these hanging back at a weird angle. Pretty sure you get 8 clicks out of the bicep rotation. You do get slightly over 90-degree bend at the elbows, which is great. Ball joint wrist, which is fairly easily removable if you get that $100 accessory set that lets them sit down. Can open the hands, which is for something we'll get into in a bit. Waist rotation is still there. Also, I do like how they did this, which is translucent pink plastic over metallic. Not quite as saturated pink as the show design, but it's close enough to get the point across. Hips, you understand why they're so chunky now. This is heavy. No outward movement. Don't try. Can rotate it, cannot move out. Still get 90 degrees at the knee, that's not inhibited by anything. Chunky. And actually articulated ankles. I mean, they're not amazing, but you can actually get poses out of this. This thing's a little bit chunky, but honestly, given the size, I'd rather everything on this be ratchets. Don't have to worry about it wearing down and breaking over time. I will say I do wish I had a couple more teeth on those ratchets for a little bit more range, but It's still serviceable. The only thing I really don't like is how the hips are done. Mostly because they knew they could do better. I mean, this is molded. For these to be able to hinge out, and they just didn't. Oh well. Good enough. Anyway, those hands. Pop these out. Off the shoulders. Open up the hands. Then you get these tabbed in. Honestly, I find it half the time it's easier to literally just close the hand around it and it just auto-sits itself. Like that. And now, it has its swords, and boy, this looks good with them. Like, you can actually pose this. It's a little chunky, but you can pose it. And you can get good poses with it. Also, I do want to say this thing is heavy. For a better size comparison to this, I think it's only fitting to bring in another Momotaro. The Figure-Eye Standard Den-O sword form that I reviewed a while ago now. But, yeah, he comes up to about the knee. And these are 1/12 scale, so yeah. This thing is stupidly massive, and I need to find some room on my shelf for it. So anyway, to wrap this review up, wow, this is good. I mean, this is a massive step up in quality from previous Sentai, but just, like, even ignoring how this thing actually has articulation, the price for the size of this is crazy. It's like, I think with shipping and taxes, I paid like maybe 150 Canadian for this, and that's including shipping and tax. Like, this is like $100 Canadian, which for something that's like 1.5 feet tall, how? You know? Like that 3-0 Galleon, which I mean obviously had a ton more paint and articulation, that thing was like 400 Canadian. And it comes up to like the waist on this thing. This is an incredible deal, and Donbrothers is an incredible show. If you're looking for something, one, watch Donbrothers if you haven't. It's an experience. But pick this up while you have a chance, because woo, what an experience this is to have. I haven't felt the feeling I get from this since I got Bionicle Titans as a child. It just makes me happy. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. Subscribe and hit the bell to be alerted for future reviews. Come chill in the Discord. Follow me on Twitter, if that's even still around. And consider supporting me on Patreon so I can keep bringing you videos like this. And, as always, until next time, happy building.